Lucky Lefty Podcast, the Honora Boys. We're in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, make sure that you do it
responsibly.
You have to do it responsibly. Of course, CFB Nation, presented by Twisted Tea. Hey, that's that R&B. I don't know anything about that.
That's right.
We might call ourselves the Midwest players. Left?
I hear that. That's an upgrade from the Ohio ones.
You know something funny, Left? I told you yesterday, it was 80 degrees in Chicago last week, right?
Man.
So yesterday, I felt bad for the trick-or-treaters, man. Like, snowstorm. It ended kind of early, I think, because of the snowstorm. And, by the time it was 6 o'clock, the doorbell didn't go off as much. But yesterday was the first day left because I was wearing, you saw what I had on during the show.
Right. I thought it was cool in the house.
My wife called me a weirdo yesterday, dude. And let me tell you what she said. When my wife comes from the hairdresser, that first day, I'm like, oh my God. Because for some reason, I love the smell of pressed hair.
Okay.
I'm like
when it's laid and fried and laid to the side.
And I love the smell of the crackling, fire with the wood in the fireplace.
Okay.
And so yesterday was the first day we cranked up the furnace. And so the first day you crank up the furnace, bro, you get that same type of kind of burning smell. And she was like, you like burning smells, She was like, are you like an arsonist or something? So we laughing and everything. I was like, I don't know what it is. Just that smell. It's like
maybe it's the intensity.
Might be, man, but
well, you like barbecue too as well, right?
Bro, I had some rib tips yesterday. I sure did.
That's right.
Chicago's finest, man. But we're not going to waste time. We have a special guest, Notre Dame fans. We already chopped it up with them, and it's indeed an honor to have, first of all, somebody that I was able to spend many enjoyable Saturdays watching him play, coming off the edge, making spectacular plays. I want to ask him if he thought his skill set at the linebacker position was before its time, and whether or not, if he was 10 years later, 8 to 10 years later at Notre Dame, I'll be interested in finding out whether or not he feels like things might have been a little bit different. Of course, he was two-time All-American, high school All-American, right? USA Today Player of the Year. You know what I'm saying? The state of California back then, man.
Taking care of business.
You know what? He grew up in Compton. Hey, man, if they did a documentary on the history of Compton from actors, musicians, just great people to come out of that small area in California, it would be phenomenal. He's one of those. Went on to the NFL, and he is a fantastic businessman. And then on top of that, now he's actually coaching, just like you, Left.
That's right.
Out there in California. So we welcome to the Lucky Lefty Podcast none other than Notre Dame great Kory. My brother, welcome to the
Lucky Lefty, man.
Hey, man, we had to bring you in right. I
appreciate you both. Thank you very much for having me.
Let me ask you a question to start this off.
Yeah.
We were talking before. We were talking before the show, and you were telling us, we were sharing stories about last night, right? The snow. And you told me that your daughter, is a freshman at Notre Dame. So I'll ask this question, because my daughter is a senior at USC. And Who broke down more when you dropped her off, you or the wife?
You know what's funny? It's a great question. I was preparing for it the whole time.
Okay.
Right. So I didn't have it as bad as my wife did. You know, she still has some days to this day that she struggles with it, and rightfully so. But I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was something that she was thinking about. So for me, it was more so okay, you know, she's growing up. You know, give her to God and let her go. You know what I mean? We've raised her to be the amazing woman she is, spiritual woman she is. At the end of the day, it's in God's hands now. But it was definitely rough. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely a struggle because we're so close. But at the end of the day, it was nice to see her make that decision on her own.
Yeah.
And God bless God woman for sure.
And let me tell you something. I struggled in silence.
Yeah.
I allowed my manhood to be out on the front, you know. And I never forget.
Yeah.
We left and we went to LAX to fly back home, and we're sitting at the gate, and my wife was sitting next to me, and she just collapsed.
Yeah.
In my arms, bro.
Yeah, I believe it.
And you know, she was just like, I can't believe I'm leaving her here.
I believe it.
And I'm like, you know, consoling her and making sure she's good. And then once I got home, I think that's when it really hit me. And I'm like, yo, this is a crazy feeling. Malik is just beginning with both of his young sons. So
yeah, love it.
He has some time to go, but that's, you know, how special is that she chose to go to Notre Dame?
Yeah, man, it was. It came back between Notre Dame and UCLA, and she went on both trips and just felt that love Notre Dame. UCLA is a big school, so it's hard to be intimate with 15,000 kids as a freshman, right? It's hard. Right? Notre Dame is different, and so she just felt that connection, that closeness, and I was glad she went. I'm happy for her. You know, I supposed to go out last night for Halloween, so I said, "Hey, babe, send me a costume when you get a chance to take a picture of it." Okay, Dad. And so I didn't get a picture of it. So I texted this morning, "Hey, everything, you know, where's my picture at?" She goes, "Oh, Dad, we didn't go out." I said, "You okay?" She said, "Yeah, it was snowing."
Absolutely. It definitely was snowing in the Midwest.
Touche.
That's right.
So let's talk about that. Your daughter ends up in Notre Dame. You said she made her own decision. Your recruitment and your journey, your mom was a little bit more influential. And you ended up at Notre Dame. On your trip, she kind of told you, like, yo, this you didn't want to go.
Yeah.
She told you're going to Notre Dame.
We had made a pact to make the decision when we got back home. It really was no decision. That was my first choice. I was 6 years old. So I knew where I wanted to go, but I had to make sure the experience was there, and I had to make sure I could handle the cold first off. And so, you know, and my mom and I are very close, single mom, and so we're by the library, and it's snowing. It's like 3 degrees. It's snowing, right? And my mom said, "Hey, let's walk." The coach was like, "No, Miss Minor, we don't do that." I said, No, we're gonna walk. They're like, "No, Miss Minor, we don't want to walk." I'm like, "Mom, I don't walk either." You know, so no, we're gonna walk. Cool. All right. So we're walking. And she says, "Son, you see that kid over there? He's probably by the Bartlett." Mom, I barely see him. Yeah. He said, "You see what he has on?" I said, "Mom, what? What does he have on?" She said, "He has a coat on. I can buy you a coat, but I can't buy you education. This is where you need to go." And when she said that in front of Touchdown Jesus, it was like the sensation I had in my body. I can't even describe it. It was just so apropos at that moment. And it just felt right. Now, mind you, I was supposed to come in December when all the big recruits come. But we were still in the playoffs, so I couldn't make it. So I couldn't come into January, which is good. I get to see the weather in January, right? And Notre Dame did a great job. Got to the airport, they backed the van up to the airport door. So I walked from the airport inside the van. They don't want me outside at all. So we go to the Jack where we meet and do HOLTZ for dinner, and the rest of recruits. They backed the van up to the door in the Jack. And so I walked. So I ain't been outside yet. And I've been Notre Dame. I've been Notre Dame. So I've been for almost 2 hours. I ain't been outside yet, right? And so the first time I go outside was we had a flat tire on our recruiting trip. We go outside, fix the tire. It was snowing. It was like 4 degrees, and I felt so at home with these guys. I said, I'm all in. I'm all in, man. So and God's amazing, first and foremost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lucky Lefty podcast, the great Kory Minor right here with us. And moving forward, your recruitment, Lou HOLTZ, what was like, just, we talked to former players that come back from their era. What was he like, man? Like, give me one great story that stands out the most, especially with you being a coach now. Like, because I'm sure his words come back to you even more now.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what he told my mom and I, which I thought was absolutely extraordinary. I think I was being recruited by everybody except Michigan and except Penn State. Those are the only two schools in recruitment. And he said, Miss Minor, listen, your son's phenomenal athlete, phenomenal man. If you find a better place that's going to make him a man, the spiritual aspect, community aspect, and life aspect, to graduate early and play top-notch football, have him go there. What else you gonna say after that?
Right.
That was it. I was like, sign me up.
Right.
I mean, because it was not about the football piece, which I love, right? It's about, hey, you as a person, as a man, that when you leave this institution, you're gonna be a better man for it. And that's what got me, right? It's not the 4-year decision, right? Malik's 40-year decision, right? That's what it was, right? And so to hear him say that, and not just say it, guys, live it. Like, his office was always open, no matter what we're going on, girlfriend, schoolwork, homesickness, got a fight with mom, dad, like, it didn't matter. His office was always open, and whatever you need, he was there. And so for me, that was like, okay, my father figure here is Lou HOLTZ, for sure.
Absolutely. So let me take you back to the first time you set foot on campus.
Right.
Okay.
And the first time you go to practice. I talked to Jeff Burris, and Jeff Burris said his first practice, he looks up and he sees Ricky Waters with his shirt off running down the field, and he turned to his fellow freshmen and said, "We got a lot of work to do." What was your first shock and awe moment?
I think for me, it was like that I'm really here, right? Like, because Notre Dame is, and during this time, is bigger than anything, right? During this time, right? And Lou HOLTZ is bigger than life. I think at the time I heard that the top 3 toughest jobs were air traffic controller, the president of the United States, and Lou HOLTZ's head coaching job in Notre Dame, right? So it was a big deal. So I think for me, actually, like, coming out to the field of practice with the golden helmet and dressed up in uniform, like yeah, this is my 6-year-old dream. I actually made it.
Yeah.
I actually did it. Like, I put the work, time, effort in, grace of God above. It actually worked out. So to me, it was more so like, it wasn't so shocking someone else seeing like, oh, here's so and so. It was, oh shoot, like, dude, I'm here.
So you went through a transition, and this is going to parlay into the
You're gonna get me started. You're gonna get me started.
No. See, look.
I'm kidding.
Hey, look. Malik will tell you. We had a show last week where I flat out called. I don't even want to say his name, but a head coach that you played under. I flat out told Notre Dame fans I felt like he was a snitch. I felt like he was an insider, a snitch, and was snitching on Lou HOLTZ and helped administration get Lou HOLTZ out of there. And I was like, dude, so he's, to me,
that's a heavy allegation, Sean.
Hey, I stand on it.
I'm like, you said it though.
Oh, wait, see, I said it for you, bro. I got your back. I'm gonna make sure I keep you clean. I'll take the charges. It's my gun. It's my gun. I'll take the charges. So, but going through a transition, and I want to ask you this question because it's 2-part.
Sure.
You know, leftover conversation is what we have at the beginning of each show, based upon how we ended the show and the thoughts of the fans that they leave after the show. And we were talking about Steph Curry, how amazing he's been to start this season.
Yeah.
And we asked fans, who was the Steph Curry of college football that kind of changed the game and brought it into its modern fashion?
Yeah.
Malik had a very interesting take because he said he felt like it was Tua Tagovailoa because of how he transitioned Alabama's offense from the ground
Being
and
the
pound.
best team at the time in the country.
Yeah, being the best team.
The youth and how it started to change. Everybody wanted this young quarterback.
Yeah.
The young play him right now guy, which leads to the Bryce Youngs and all the Ohio State guys that are the 1 year ready to play right now. Oklahoma took off with it. But Tua changed the game because he was on the best team of that era at the time.
I see what you're saying.
So who would you say? Because people have said Michael Vick, Johnny Manziel. Who do you think has been responsible for the college football game changing?
Wow. I guess I'm gonna do 2 parts. That's okay. I'm gonna be a little selfish too on my second part. I think I would say Michael Vick. You know, I think what Michael Vick did was absolutely phenomenal. I think what Michael Vick did. You know, you look at the way he ran the ball, the way he threw the ball. The ball spins from a left hand. It's so sweet. I listen. I'm not a receiver at all, but those left handies, man, that ball spins nice.
Yes,
right?
sir.
It does. And seeing the way he threw the ball, and how he just took down defense with his legs and his arms. I'm gonna say him from that standpoint, from just a magnitude standpoint. But I'm gonna be a little selfish here and talk about my linebacker core that I had Notre Dame with Burt Berry, Laron Cobbins, and Kenan Tatum. Because during that time, you didn't see a lot of linebacker and defensive ends wearing single digits. You didn't see a lot of guys wearing visors, right? You didn't see that.
Okay. Talk your stuff.
Yeah. So, and I'm only saying that because a few people reached out to me and said, "Hey, listen, when I think back at college football, your LB core was different than anybody else was doing." And I'm not saying this because I'm just trying to be elitist. What feedback I've gotten over the years have been gone. And if you look at then, we all 4 had shields. You know, 3 of us had single digits, right? It was just we just did things a little bit different than most linebackers did before and I think after. So I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there and just say that Michael Vick, the magnitude bigger than anything. And I think our LB core Notre Dame, maybe either on a regional standpoint, but I really do feel that the numbers, the way we played, the visors, it was pretty sweet.
Well, you definitely got it right. Naming another lefty as a game changer in the landscape, but in terms of his impact as an individual, I think Mike Vick takes the cake for it in terms of just fandom. Like it was just fandom.
For sure.
Mike Vick.
For sure.
For Tua, the game changed in the landscape of college football because of how everybody recruited after that.
Yeah.
It forced other teams to do in terms of getting off that 3-year, 4-year guy.
Yeah.
Get the hot, fresh young guy.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, I think just the landscape is changing so much now just because defenses are getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
And these teams and these coaches are rotating so much. You don't have a lot of time to practice. So you get more of these gimmick offenses that come in college football.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, you're exactly right. I agree with that 100%.
So that leads me to the next question. The vision that Lou HOLTZ had for you, compared to how you were actually used once he left.
Yeah.
What was the difference, and do you think your game would have fit more 8 to 10 years later in college football?
It's so funny you said that. So a buddy of mine I played with in high school, he played at UW. I was a running back. We had lunch probably 2 years ago. And he said, Kory, something I'm gonna tell you, I was going to tell you. He said, the way you rushed the passer, you came too early. He told me, he said, you were just, it wasn't there yet what you were doing, right? He said, if you had been there today, you'd been magnified differently than you were, right? And I never thought about that until he said it. I did some research on my own. I said, hey man, listen, I really appreciate that. You know, listen, when Lou HOLTZ left, my spirit of football left. I gotta be real with you on this podcast. I'm keep it real with you. Like I didn't love the game anymore, right? Because it was a different. You know, listen. Bob Davie and I have talked since everything has gone down over the years. We've connected and all that, and so I've gotten that hate and stuff out of my system. So, but I didn't love the game when he was coaching. I didn't, right? I also came in there with a guy who said he was going to take care of me for 4 years, and so that was tough for me. You see what I'm saying, right? And so, but I always used to wonder because I had to put myself in Davie's shoes, right? Was he ready for that job yet? Probably not. But whoever is Notre Dame job, whoever is ready for that. Number one, number two, when you get an offer to you, however it happened, you got to take it. You can't just say no to that, right? So even though it might have been bigger than what he was ready for, he had to take it.
Yeah.
And I get it. I already got it. But yes, when Lou was there, and because I was under him, and what was going on, do I think I would have been a top 10 draft pick in the NFL period? For sure. Lou told me that himself, right? But when he left, I didn't love the game anymore. So I didn't play probably at my highest ability as I could have.
Yeah.
Right? Because I just felt I was cheated in a sense, in a lot of different ways. And so the love, the excitement, you listen, football game, you gotta love the tour.
You gotta love it.
Love that type. You gotta love it, right? And I didn't love it like that anymore. Now I can get by and I still play well, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But when Lou was there, it was just a fire, right? And so I always say this, and I don't mean no ill will about it, just keeping it real. Lou was a out the factory Rolls Royce. Where Bob was a Honda. No ill will. It just is what it is.
Hey, you can't even give him a Chrysler 300.
It just is what it is. Like you talking about. Like think about this. When they replaced Nick Saban, that's Nick Saban.
Yeah.
That's Nick Saban. That's a Rolls Royce. Like what do you go from there? Okay, I'm sorry. He's a Davie's a Mercedes. It's still a difference. Either the way you look at it.
Right.
It's still a big difference.
A Honda crazy though.
I'm trying to get my Kevin Hardy.
So you two, Malik, you said we've had conversations. You told me that your love for the game left at some point during that 2016 season, which led you to ultimately transfer out. So what is that? How do you try to reconcile that as a player to both of you? Like, you come there, you have promise, and then all of a sudden that light goes out or that love leaves you. And I know you want to try and get it back.
Yeah.
But how difficult is that? And what's that struggle like?
It's definitely a change in the love that you have for the game. Because for me, it just almost made me figure that it wasn't even about being the best. Going through it, you're like, okay, if I'm the best, there's just a clear shot to get straight to the top. I'm just the best every time. But once you get in certain situations, I don't think it happens everywhere, but certain places where you get in these things, I call them, it's not, it didn't appear to be, it's about playing the best player. And when that happened to me, I'm like, okay, this is like a different type of game I have to think about now, because it's not so much about outdoing a guy. It's just about being sometimes in the right place at the right time, or specific to what a certain coach wants. And it may be outside of how I got here, in terms of skill or whatever it was. So I think that understanding changed the way I thought about the game, and it just gears you differently. And I think because of that, I found more love in the coaching and this, that, and the third. But as a player, like for some guys like Jalen Smith, I mean, he comes in, he just gets he has the potential, he gets the potential coming in, and then things just start happening for him. Danny Spahn goes down. He's done for the whole year. You're like, damn, okay. So next guy in just happens to be Jalen, and then he goes in there and just starts killing it. And it's rest is history. So sometimes it happens like that. Like Will Fuller, the same way, comes just straight, nothing ever wrong happened almost. So some guys is different. And I think when you go through that, it puts you in the right place, I think, where football wants you to be.
Kory, how did you reconcile that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I really ever did, to be real honest with you, man, because this guy, Lou HOLTZ, was my world, man. And at the end of the day, I went there because he was there And that was huge for me, right? And so him leaving was tough. And so and you know, me and Bob we just never really got down like that. You know what I mean? And I was a captain, and I was a leader and all that, and you know all the accolades and all that. But him and I just never really got down like that, and so it was just tough. And it was hard to swallow, and it was hard, man. And so you know, I leaned on my faith, of course, and you know, I just did what I could do to keep going, man. But it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was a challenge.
Lefty podcast, the great Kory Minor joins us right here. And I've talked to a lot of Notre Dame players left. So I already know the importance of Lou Holtz. I do, to their lives to this day. Like, it goes beyond the football field, championships, the recruitment. I'm talking about to this day. The way this man is beloved by his players.
Yeah.
You do, as both of you coach, that's why you do it, man. Like, that's the core of why you do it. And like, to make men, right? And when you recruit, you guys both deal with these high schoolers. How difficult is it in today's landscape to get young men, high schoolers, to buy in to, look, I'm trying to make you a great young man. Like, I'm going to make you the best football player you can be, but it's bigger than that. I'm really trying to set you up for the rest of your life. Like, Malik, for you, like, because you have a young quarterback that you believed in since the first time you saw him as an 8th grader. You were like, Shaun, this kid is the next one. He's the next one. But outside of that, you really believe in him as a young man. Just talk about having that type of relationship and trying to pour into him as a young man and as a football player.
Yeah, it's you know, high school is just so funny coaching it because the kids at this point, you know, is different than when I was in high school. And maybe it's just the school I'm at, but just as the value they see in coming to practice every day. You know, it's not I just come today, don't go tomorrow kind of thing, but the value of why it's important in relation to building a team and getting the guys to buy into the value that if you guys can just listen, we can start winning some games, and then y'all start to see why all of the things we're doing will make sense. And so it was a little rough at first, but when you identify those guys on the team that do take it serious, as a coach, I feel like you got to put them in position to where they can lead the other guys around them. And you know, nowadays everything's about getting an offer. So you know, we happen to get 1 or 2 transfers, got an offer. And a couple of coaches start coming around. You know, a lot of it too, got to have a good structured program. You know, if you got things laid out where guys can come in and you got fundraisers and it feels like a program, kids tend to kind of fall in line to that. But, you know, there's no funding in a lot of these schools. So, you know, you go to the better schools, you get some of that, and you work harder at the other ones. But establishing that relationship with a kid and pouring into him, you only got so many hours in a day with him. Outside of trying to make him a better football player, it's more just relationship and conversation, man. And you know, these kids go through so much different types of structure throughout the day, and then they come to football and they want to be able to get a little bit of that release, but also find some commonality. You know, I mean, everybody's just harping on them all day. I always say, talk black to me, because I'm not your teacher. You know, because your teacher, they tell you to shut up all day and everything and don't say nothing when I'm talking. But at football, I need you to communicate. You know what I mean? I need you to talk to the other guys. If I say something and I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. At least we can get some rapport. So then when I need you to tell somebody else they wrong, y'all can work together. So, you know, I try to get them in more of a back and forth, if anything. And that just helps the trust factor. You know, it's crazy how much time you spend with the kids through the season, because by the time you look up, it's Thanksgiving, you're in the playoffs, and you be like, man, we feel like you really know the kids, you know, at that point. So I think that's what brings it all together. And then to see them enjoying winning, I think winning seals it, because it's one thing to really pour into a kid, y'all suck. And it's just like it don't quite stick. But when they start to see is all that happening and then y'all win, it really makes it worthwhile.
That's true. That is true. Malik, where you coach at?
I was at Lakewood.
Okay.
And then I had to stop for a while because I'm doing the
TV
CBS
stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Loved it, man. Loved it.
That's good stuff, man. I love that.
Kory, for you, when coaching, that getting them to buy in, and times have changed, and the high school game has evolved. Like they're getting attention like 7th, 8th grade, even before they step on the high school field. Like
I have a little different perspective. I was at an uber wealthy white school in Orange County as a head coach, so that was a whole different perspective from the get go, from the jump, as being a black man.
That's a whole different situation. It's passive aggressive different.
It's different, right? And so my school is predominantly a lacrosse school. My tuition is $45,000 a year, so it's a whole different situation that I'm at. I was at for 6 years as a head coach. And what I did really is connected with these young men who didn't look like me and I didn't look like them, but we built this amazing bond. We really did. And I had success there because they bought in. They bought into, listen, people want to always, you want to go off on the kid, do something wrong, but they never forget the second part of that as a coach, is to love on them, right? You can't go off with someone and then leave them there. You go off on them, you got to go off on them, you got to love on them again, right? So you build that rapport. So what I did, I basically shared my thoughts, things I did wrong in my life, things that didn't go well for me, and that communication bridge opened up. So they would share with me what they're dealing with, right? And so all of a sudden now we have two-way communication. Now we're close. So now I got parents, right? Hey, can you please talk to my son? Can you please talk to my son? Because he talks to you only and they won't talk to us. Cool, I got you, right? So for me, it became way more than football, because my kids aren't going to Division I like that. They're gonna be doctors and lawyers and politicians and own companies and all that, right? And some of them are. I had a few that did, but majority of them, are going to Ivy League schools no matter what, and not for football. Football is not their favorite. They did it because their friends do it. They don't watch it. They didn't study it. They didn't go see it, right? They played because it was fun and it was a camaraderie. So I coach differently, right? Because I have kids saying, "Coach, man, I got to study for my test. Can I leave practice?" Huh? But here's what I know though. That kid is going to Cornell, not for football. So go study. Like I'm not gonna say no to that. Like it is what it is. Like, so in my world, you had to be a little different. Where I went to Bishop Vermont, so they tell you that you've been don't come back, right? But I was in a different world. So, but as Malik says, the communication is critical, right? Building that rapport with them, the love, respect. When a kid knows you care for them outside of what you're doing with them, they will do the world for you. And so that's why the reason why I did so well down there, and still to this day talk to all the kids and parents. And I've been gone now for some time. And so at the end of the day, I love it. I enjoy it. Now I'm coaching Division III, which is a little bit different, which I love. It's a different animal than high school, different animal than Division I, but it has its own issues and problems as well. But I absolutely love it. Again, I love to build young men. Right? That's my favorite
That's
thing
what
to
it's
do.
about.
That's what it's about. Right?
That's
Building young men to better men. So they asked me, "Hey, Coach, what book should I be reading?" Boom, I drop it on them. Hey,
what school are you at again?
Cal Lutheran.
Oh yeah, that's a nice school.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So I enjoy that, man. It's been fun. But the mentorship for me, as Malik just knows, that's the best part about it, man. That doesn't get any better than that.
Hey Malik, you know what I do. When we start talking about mentorship of young men, I deal with the inner city of Chicago.
That's your expertise.
So hey, you start getting me hyped, bro, because you start talking about a lot of things that are very much needed. Everything else that surrounds, your goals, your dreams, that's fine. Making it to the NFL or the NBA, that's fine.
Yeah.
But at the core, you can really change generations.
Amen.
When you're able to mentor and change young men into men.
Amen.
They could be the strong heads of families. Like,
amen to that.
Hey,
amen
man, this is my type of conversation, but this is the Notre Dame podcast, so we'll chop it up offline about that stuff sometime.
Sounds
Once
good
again, the great Kory Minor joins us right here, and Left, This guy right here, man, I don't know if you know, he teased us with something. He was part of one of the great linebacker corps ever at Notre Dame, but he was also part of the greatest what if recruiting class at Notre Dame, right? Because they're probably one of the greatest top 10 recruiting classes, right? You know, featured by him and Autry Denson. But they were supposed to have James Jackson and Randy Moss in that class as well.
Yeah.
Like when you were being recruited, was Randy Moss an expectation in your mind to be in the class?
It's funny. I didn't even know, actually, to be honest with you. I had heard through the grapevine sometime later that he could possibly be in the class. You know, I didn't really know, but if you look on USA Today, the one that I Player of the Year for, I think we got 7 dudes on that board that are in my class.
Yeah,
like we had some dudes from Mike Rosenthal, the Tim
Rosen.
Ritters,
to
Jerry Wisney. Like we had some dudes, man, and you know again, listen, you can't go back in the past, but if Lou HOLTZ was still there, I don't know, man. I think it'd have been a whole different situation for our class and everything else.
Hey, man, you know,
I'm gonna leave that alone right there.
Hey, man, Coach HOLTZ had to do his bid, man, because he had informants in the program. You know how that works, Malik, when you got informants in your crew, cats snitching on you, and then you have to go do the bid. Yeah, it is what it is. But I totally agree with you. Agree with you. The evidence was how things went.
Yep, for sure.
After he left, that was the evidence. For you, what have you seen from this team as they've shifted from the previous regime to what Marcus Freeman has brought to the table?
To be honest with you, I love the tenacity. They play hard and they play physical, and that's football, right? I mean, listen. So I played back in days when you had 2 a days. You want to pull gear both sessions. It's different now, right? like guys had CTE, but didn't know what CTE back then, right? So I played when you could still bang it out, and hitting the quarterback was all legal. It wasn't flag football yet, and so that's how I played the game. So for me, like seeing them play physical, play strong, play tough, 4th and 1 goal line stands, 4th and 1 in stands, like that to me is football. That's what I enjoy, and seeing that, but on both sides, seeing that front line on both sides, O&D dominate teams. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love that. That's where it's built. Malik knows, right? You gotta have a great line if you can do anything, right? So that's where it's built. As a linebacker, right? If my D line isn't darn good, then I'm in trouble. My D line made me, right? And that's some facts, right? And I think you got to realize that, and they do that at Notre Dame, right? They're physical on both sides of the ball, and they want to leave with the O line, D line. When you do that, man, you'll have success.
Man, I know you watch Al Golden's defense, and as aggressive as he is, I know you sit back and say, "Yeah, I can play for him."
Yeah, for sure.
I can play for him
all day long, man. I love that. I love those guys flying around making plays, man. That's what it's all about. That's how football should be played, right? High intensity, high level, make plays. No, don't just be satisfied with making a tackle. Let's go make the play. Let's get a PPU. Let's get a pick, right? Let's do that. Let's change our mindset of how we think about this game. And so I love that, man. You're right. I think Al's done a phenomenal job. Hope he stays around for a little bit longer.
So I want to take you back to a few memorable games from your career.
Okay.
You come in freshman, highly touted class, and then you guys the next year in '96, early in the season, play one of the hottest games you probably ever experienced, going up against James Brown, Ricky Williams, and the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, buddy.
You're down 7 points in the 4th quarter. Your offense moves it to the Texas 38. Lou HOLTZ decides to punt. Let me tell you how much confidence. Look, Texas really had dominated the second half, right? Notre Dame had gotten a little tired. I think the temperature on the field was something like 103. They reported it was left. I'm like, yo, that's crazy, right? And Lou HOLTZ calls a punt formation and tries to get a pass interference on Texas. He just had the punter throw it up to the gunner, right? And the gunner flops. And And it's like, yo, but like, I'm like, yo, you're putting your defense. I'm like, this is how much faith he had in that defense. Like, oh, we're going to get a stop.
Yeah.
And we're going to get it right back. And ultimately, goal line, they get the ball back, 2 minutes left, 4th and goal from the half-inch line. They've had the ball on the 1-yard line for 3 consecutive plays left. Couldn't punch it in. 4th and 6, bro. 4th and goal from the 6. This man calls an option play, bro. And Archie Denson takes it in. Like Texas, that was the last thing Texas was expecting. The last thing.
Here's what you're not saying. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, break it, give it to us.
Lou Holtz said it in the huddle.
Wow.
We're gonna give it to the defense. They will stop them. We'll drive down and score. He said that before it happened.
Wow.
We were like, this man just said that, and it just happened the way he said it.
That's amazing.
Listen, Ricky Williams was a beast. Like, that dude was giving us the business all night long. Malik, let me tell you, fam. Like, all night long. I'm a sophomore. Like, this dude is.
He was nice like that.
What? Dog, he was giving us the business. That's when Brian Westbrook hit Randy Kinder. His kids felt that. You see that kid?
Yeah.
Malik, they did an option to the Texas sideline, and Ron Paulus pitched it late, and Westbrook came out the roof and hit Randy Kinder so hard, bro, on the sideline, bruh. Man, what? We thought, man, he ain't gonna get up from that. He ain't gonna get up. He got up though, but Westbrook came out the roof and hit this dude. Man, but Lou Holtz said, I kid you not, Lou Holtz said that. He brought us up in the huddle. This is what's gonna happen. This is what we're gonna do. And dang it, bro, it happened. Just like he said it.
Dude, several players have said he was the best coach in instilling confidence in the team and individual players that didn't know that they had it in them.
Man, when I tell you, I do it now with my sales teams that I train and coach. We would do visuals at night in the hotel rooms, right? Visualization. We lay down in the big ballroom, turn the lights off, and he would just talk to us. We close our eyes. He would talk about the game to us. What play you going to make? What you going to do? How you going to make it happen? How you going to play for your team? This man was brilliant. That's why. Listen, when I said the Honda comment, I didn't mean no ill will with the Honda comment.
It really was a Honda.
Real with you. This dude was a Rolls Royce platinum style, right? Premium wheels, 24-inch wheels, tinted windows, like that. You can't replace. Like, the only person that they can replace Nick Saban with that has star power is going to be Dion. How you replace Nick Saban? How you replace Lou Holtz? How you replace Bobby Bowden? You just can't do that. You just can't do that. Those guys are at a different level when you talk about coaching and loving on their players and getting the most out of them. Listen, Lou Holtz would make you want to run through a brick wall. You know you wouldn't survive it, but you do it anyway.
Yeah. That left. Remember I told you the story about my mom?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, she's the greatest lover of people. She's a prayer warrior. Yeah. Like, dude, she will take you to the top of the mountain, and you'll look over the mountain and see a whole army, and she'll look you in your eyes and say, you're well able.
Yeah.
And walk away. And you standing there looking at her like, what? What are you talking about? But it's like, what she tells you, it gets you to that point, like, dude, I can do anything, bro.
Yeah.
I can do anything. And the surge that goes through my body, because it just happened. I'm talking about the Texas game, and I'm sitting here watching like a coach only does that if he believes in his players and his defense. You don't take a chance like that with 8 minutes in the fourth quarter.
You speaking on it. You speaking on it.
Most coaches, it's 4th and 6. Most coaches are like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get the ball back. I got to go for it here.
Yeah.
Lou Holtz is like, man,
we gonna get it back.
Here, we'll try.
We'll get it back.
Yeah,
we'll get it back.
We're gonna get it back, and they get it back. And you're on the half-inch line.
Yeah, he said it.
You get a proceed. You get a false start penalty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You go back to the 6, and you say, man, look, we're gonna run this option play. It really hasn't worked all day, but we're about to run this play. They'll never expect it. And
that
it
dude was
worked.
brilliant, man. Brilliant, genius, all in one. Brilliant, genius. And that's the reason why he's so beloved to this day. Like you said earlier, he's absolutely beloved to this day.
Absolutely.
Because guys go to school there. Like it was school, the institution, right? Lou, football.
Yeah.
It was an institution like Notre Dame, right? Graduate 40 years, what that means. Then it was Lou. So for me, when Lou was gone, I'm gonna say something I shouldn't say, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I love y'all so much. I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So when Lou got that phone call about not coming back, I was in the office when he got it. Him and I. And I was in the office when he got it. I never seen a man cry like that, bro.
Wow.
And that hit my soul. And I knew from that point on I was never gonna be the same. Because what this man did for me in my life, he changed me like there's no other. And so, but yeah, I just gave you a exclusive. I didn't tell nobody. I was in the office when that happened.
How did you respond? You seeing your mentor, your father figure broken down. Like how did you respond in that moment?
I didn't really know what to do. I just I saw him crying. I wanted to console him, but my heart was just crushed because I knew right there it was about to be different, and I knew that there'd be no one else that could take his place, and I just knew at that point in time too I would not be the same player as I was because he had me on a trajectory that was going to be a whole different situation.
Yeah, we've been trying to replace him for 35 years.
35. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's real. What you're saying? Yeah. We've been trying to replace him for that long. Man. And
and my worry, and again, this I have no knowledge of this. My worry though is that at some point Freeman goes to OSU.
That's real.
That's my worry. Because I mean, when you go Notre Dame, you're top of the totem pole. Really nowhere else to go, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, you want to come home, and that's home for him, right? Mm-hmm. And so that'd be my worry at some point. I hope that never happens. I like what Freeman's doing. I like the foundation he has set. But I think about that often. Like at some point, you want to go back to where it all started for you. Why would you not want that, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
And plus, I hate to say it, Ohio State, they're gonna pay him some racks. Notre Dame just doesn't pay like that, which I wish we would. I don't know why we don't. But they don't. They really don't. And I hate that, but it is what it is.
Let's go to another game. You're facing one of your former high school teammates as he comes in with the number 5 USC Trojans. John Robinson is once again the head coach.
Yeah.
And you guys had struggled a little bit, and people thought you guys weren't going to win that game. And the linebacker core, you guys dominated that game with sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions. Yeah. You set the tone. That single-digit linebacking core you talked about. Just talk about that game and how special it was to pull off that upset.
So let me take before that. So I'm a California guy, right? So J. Rob recruited me. J. Rob's a great dude. If USC was not in LA, because I'm from there, born and raised over there, I didn't want to be around that. If USC was not in California, based on him and Lou HOLTZ, now I'm not saying he was Lou by any means, but he was a great dude. I love J. Rob. Right, great dude. That was a fun game for me, right? Because I'm a freshman, Essie's coming out, a couple of guys on the team I played with in high school, right? And it was bragging rights for me, right? At least year one, for sure. After that, the tables turned, unfortunately. But hard-fought game. That's when I had Keyshawn Johnson. They were fabulous, right? I think they're number 5, they're top 5, 6 in the country. Phenomenal team, phenomenal program, doing big things. And we had to work that out for us. And I remember that was probably the highlight. I remember my freshman year. I got a sack in the end zone and caught wild oats. I got a sack for a safety as a freshman, and that was something that very, very memorable to me. But no, listen, our defense stepped up, played well, offense scored when we needed it, man. But again, man, Lou's presence, man, on the sideline is just something magical about that. It really is, and I know I keep harping on it because it's just truthful. It's just absolute facts. Hashtag facts. And he's just an amazing man. But he always prepared you. Like you're prepared no matter what. Like you found a way to be prepared no matter what. And so we got it done, man. It was a tough task, tall order, but we got it done.
And then you guys face Florida State, another top 10 team in the Orange Bowl.
In the Orange Bowl.
And dude, you lost your quarterback. You had a backup quarterback.
Sure did.
And
sure did.
The defense once again sets the tone. And one of the Notre Dame has the ball with a chance to win.
Yeah.
And this is the worst intentional grounding call I've ever seen in the history of college football.
It was. You're right. I agree with you.
Right? And of course, since he threw it from the end zone, it ended up being a safety. Like the receivers right there. The ball lands like 2 yards in front of the running back.
So it's intentional grounding. He threw it from the end zone, so it's a
safety. And so now Notre Dame has to kick the ball away. Hey, let me tell you something. That was the day, man. Let me tell you something, because Florida State always talks, bro. That was the game I found out, these Notre Dame linebackers, because now they're playing Florida State. Like this is a team is supposed to have speed.
Work to have work done was a beast.
Yes,
work done was a beast.
Yes, he was. Yeah. And on top of that, that was the night I found out, man, boy, this cat Derek Mays ain't no joke, boy.
Yeah, he not. Yeah.
He Mays, boy, he was giving their defensive backs the business and telling them about it.
Mays had the biggest hands I've ever seen, and I got some big hands. Mays had the biggest hands I've ever seen on a dude.
Really?
And he just caught the ball, Malik. Malik, you left on to him because no matter where you was at, he make you look good. No matter where you put it at, no matter where you put it at, family, he's gonna snag it. He just had those hands, man. Those mittens, bro. He was a beast for sure. For sure.
Wow.
What's the one game we asked all players this? What's the one game where you walked off the field and you said, man, I left everything I had on that field tonight?
My last game against LSU.
In the Independence Bowl.
No, I'm sorry. The one at home. The
one at home?
My senior year. Senior year. My mom spoke at the pep rally.
Mm-hmm.
Mom spoke. She was the keynote speaker for the pep rally. And then I had 2.5 sacks that game and really balled out, played well. That stands out probably by far as capping off a career there that has me. I think they got me now. So I'm third in tackles for loss. I'm third in sacks now. They got me. And I'm second tackles for loss in the program. And then probably the most memorable moment was Ohio State, my '96, when they came to us. As a kid, I tell you, I had a 6-year-old dream to go to Notre Dame.
You were going up against Orlando Pace in that game.
Man, did you have to bring up his name? I still got nightmares of that dude, man. Why you do that? Listen, there's a phenomenal shot. And remember Athens Sports Magazine, like the college football issue? Mm-hmm. A picture of him and I, his big old mitt under my mask like this, pushed me back like that. It's a great picture.
Oh my goodness.
It's a great picture, but he got me. He was amazing, Hall of Famer, right? HOF. So I'll take that. But I gave him some too, though. I gave him some.
Yeah.
I gave him
absolutely.
I gave him a little bit.
Had to.
But right.
Yeah.
But we did a blitz, and they Stanley Jackson, the quarterback, did a boot right into my blitz. Man, took him down by his neck. 10, 12-yard loss. Great tackle, great sack. Malik, I kid you not. All of a sudden, the student body goes, Kory Minor. And then the whole stadium erupts. Kory Minor. I thought I died and gone to heaven, man.
Yeah.
If my career ended right then and there, I was good.
Cool. It was cool.
Because you never expect that to hear that, right? And then again, this is my dream. I was 6 years old. So to actually have that happen, and you're like, oh, they're saying my name. Oh crap! Like it's a very odd and surreal moment.
So, as we take you back to campus, who was your favorite professor at Notre Dame?
I'm not gonna remember his name, but my accounting teacher was phenomenal. But let me tell you who got me through though. Marianne Spence, academic advisor, academic coordinator. God rest her soul. Absolutely phenomenal for me. And on top of that, Jermaine Holden, who played Notre Dame, he also was academic advisor. Those two people really held me down and got me through. But my accounting teacher, I can't remember his name, was absolutely amazing. I loved him. But listen, the school took care of me, man. The school took care of me. So I don't know if you guys know or not. I have not seen a game there yet since I left. I've not been back for a game.
We got to get you back on campus.
So the last game I saw was the game I played in '98.
Wow.
I've been back. I was there. I was back in August taking my daughter. I was back a couple summers for the camps they put on. So I've been back camp and seen it, but I haven't seen a game there. And so I'm sure now with my daughter's out, I'll get back. But for me, like that place is magical. I tell all my friends, listen, whether you're a fan or not, you got to go see it.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, I have 5 games I want to see as far as different stadiums. I want to see a game in Texas A&M. I want to see a game in Tennessee. I want to see a game in LSU. I want to see a game in Oregon. I want to see a game in Alabama. So I'm gonna do that this year. Next year, I'm gonna take some trips to see those games because I want to see I want to see those stadiums. Just during. I heard so much about it. Like LSU, we played at LSU. That place is unreal, unreal, right? So I want to experience that, man. But Notre Dame's a phenomenal place. There's nothing like it. And it's not for everybody. Dwayne Goodrich was a top recruit. Went to Tennessee, played in the league for a little bit.
Out of Chicago.
I got all the great recruits. They gave them to me to bring them in. I closed many of them. But one thing I didn't lie to you. I said, listen, if you're coming to a place that academics is first, ball is second, community life is third. If you're not cool with that order, don't come here. I'm just keeping it real. That's what it is. Academics is first, ball is second, community life is third. If you have the opposite, you want to be community life, social life first, this ain't for you.
Yeah.
And I felt like the guys who I got there, who I got to commit, enjoyed the experience because I was up and honest with them. Hey, this is what we're about.
Yeah.
Academics first, right? Ball is hard, it's tough, they own you, right? And then your social life. So if you want to have it flipped, go somewhere else.
Wow, that was a blast from the past. Dwayne Goodrich from Richard out of Chicago.
Yeah.
The fact that you hosted him on this recruiting trip. So as we get ready to let Kory Minor go, we greatly appreciate you giving us time, bro. And
it's been an honor. Thank you guys.
Who was your OG?
Oh man.
When you first got to campus, who was that OG that got you right, set you straight?
The LB core, man. LaRon Cobbins, Ken Tatum, and Burt Berrier, all three of them. Because remember, I was a freshman starter.
Right.
And they were juniors. Right. And I'm still fresh. I'm still, I'm fresh out the womb, right? I'm coming from high school, 18-year-old kid. I'll give you quick stories. I know you guys probably got to roll off. So I'm battling between me and John McLaughlin. He's a sophomore, 6'5", rangy kid, probably a 4'4", 40 at defensive end. Phenomenal athlete, great dude. We're battling. We don't know who's gonna start yet. We are game 1 at home against, I believe it was Northwestern. I believe it was. And we lost that game, right? My freshman year.
Yeah.
It was Northwestern, I believe it was. I find out I'm going to start like an hour before kickoff. I lost. I went to the restroom. I was there for about an hour. Like, oh my God, I'm starting at Notre Dame. I'm 18 years old. Oh my God. And back then there was no phone. I couldn't call mom.
Right.
I couldn't get a hold of nobody. At that moment, as far as right then and there, I'm like, oh my first thought was like, if I mess up, all my haters are gonna say, I told you don't belong there. That was in my mind the whole time. Don't mess up. Don't mess up. Play well. Play well. Play well. Man, I went out there and I was nervous. And Robert Farmer changed my life. He says, Kory, what did the hostess tell you? He said, I'm starting, man. Robert said this, go show him why. Changed my whole, I was a basket case, fam. A basket case when I found out. Changed my perspective. I went there, actually had a pretty good game my freshman year. My first game ever in Notre Dame Stadium. And the rest is history, man. And let me tell you that I thank God every single day for that experience because I loved it. It taught me so much. It helped me become a man that I am today. I met my wife there. My daughter's there now. My middle son is thinking about now. He likes Stanford and MIT as well. But Notre Dame's now on his list now. And so listen, I'm just highly blessed and thank the man above because it's all him.
Absolutely. Now, the last question, because I've
Yes,
come to realize that the culture amongst the football team is all about who's the best basketball player. It doesn't matter how far back you go. The trash talk is real.
Yeah, it is.
In the football program, who
It
was
is.
the best hooper during your time at Notre Dame?
I think it was Benny Gilbo, if I remember right.
Benny Gilbo. Okay.
I think it was Benny Gilbo, if I remember right.
From
he can jump.
From Louisiana.
Yeah, from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he can jump out the roof, if I remember right. I think it was Benny Gilbo, if I remember right. Because it wasn't me. I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. That was not my MO by any means.
Not
So
your expertise.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep that real right now. That was not K Minor. No way.
So, as we get ready to let you go, we greatly appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
What would you like to see for Notre Dame? You were there when a transition took place with the president. Notre Dame will have a new president and AD at the end of this year. How would you like to see Notre Dame transition into the future? You still have a new TV deal on the table, the NIL landscape and space, possibly opening up for more transfers. You know, what would you like to see the administration and Marcus Freeman work together to do for the program?
I'm gonna be a little different with you, man. I love the way it's moving. I love the way it's heading, but I want to keep us special, keep us different. That's what I love about us, right? It's because it's not for everybody. We can't recruit everybody, and I love that. And I'll just say this, and this might turn some heads. This is how I really believe. The schools that are that fight for the national championship, you know, year in year out, you know, Georgia to Alabama's, of course, Michigan to Ohio State's, they do things differently than we do, right? They do bigger money with NIL. They get more transfer kids. They could have more applicants come in. They can see more people because they have less requirements than we have from a institutional standpoint as far as education. So to me, this is how I am. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I like that. I like that we're different. I like that we're not for everybody. I like that we're not giving out $5 million in my NIL deal. I'm good with that. I am. Because here's what I'm saying to you. If we go 11-2, 10-1, 10-0, 11-1, and we beat the Stanfords, we beat the SCs, we beat the Michigan, the schools that we should be, we want to be, and we go to a major bowl game, right, and win that bowl game, let's say it's the Orange Bowl, or Rose Bowl, Sugar, whatever, and win that bowl game, I'm okay with that. Because I know for us to be national championship contender, that means that we are, but I also know we're not doing what Georgia and those guys are going to do. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. That makes us different. So if we go again 11-1, 10-1, 11-0, 11-1, beat SC, beat Michigan, beat Ohio State, beat USC, those teams we've always played and rivalry against, win a major bowl game, I'm fine with that. Because we do not do what those schools do on a consistent basis to actually contend like that and go after the guys they go after. But we're not getting 35 guys in the portal. That's not what we do. We're not giving a guy $4 million for NIL. It's not who we are. I am okay with that. I sleep my head at night knowing that our institution is raising better men. We're honest. And on top of that, we're going to play top-notch football. You're going to graduate first. And if we keep doing that, my man, they can have my money all day long.
Yo, that's real. And look, we just said this. I feel like Notre Dame as a program and fan base finally gets an opportunity to exhale.
Sure.
The greatest thing that's happened is the playoff expansion.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Finally, we don't feel like we have to be perfect every year.
100%.
As a fan base.
100%.
Hey, if we lose a game early, we're still in this. We still got 100%. A chance to make the playoff. And 100%. I mean, we are really the only program every year that had the weight as players, as a program, administration, fan base, that we had to be perfect
for sure
every year.
Absolutely right.
And one of the great,
we lost our big game in the week 3 of the season,
Yeah,
everything
that was
is
it.
over. It's like
It's
it's
a wrap.
over. Isn't it?
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're exactly right.
And finally, that weight has been lifted. Next
Yeah.
year, 12-team playoff.
And we can
Amen to
see
that.
guys develop. We can fall in love
Yeah.
with players again. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
you
No,
can
you're
actually
exactly right.
grade players' development.
exactly
Now
right.
it's like we lose one game, cool. We're gonna make the playoff run, and now
Yeah.
you're gonna see stars shine. You can identify how you can move forward. Who's a playoff guy, who's not.
Who's
That's
not?
how you. That's how you make the team better, right there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's a great point. No, I think that the factor is huge.
I almost want to give you a big round of applause and tell the chat and everybody watching it, but I feel like, man, I can only send you out by saying Kory Minor. Kory Minor.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey,
you guys
big
are the
bro,
best, man.
we appreciate you, man. We
Appreciate
look
you
forward to
both,
having
man.
you back on the show.
Anytime, let me know.
God's
be
favor and eternal blessings on you.
Amen. Back to you both.
And your entire family. I was going to ask you about the best pizza in California, because I know you used to dib and dabble in pizza and do commercials, for one of your businesses. I remember that, boy. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, I was a Domino's pizza franchise. I had 5 Domino's, man, 130 employees for almost 10 years, man.
Man,
good times, man.
Congratulations.
Good times, man. Thank you, man. Good times.
What was your go-to spot to eat in South Bend?
Who was cooking? What's her name? Was she cooking? Where's she cooking at?
That's the best answer.
Yes, sir. That's the best answer.
What time is she cooking, and where's the house
at? That's right.
I'm coming through. hey, Malik, I know you're local, man. Let's break bread. Let's go root Chris something, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. I'll hit you after. I'm done.
Yeah, please do. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kory Minor. Be blessed, bro.
You guys too. God bless you. I appreciate it. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks.
Hey, man, he might have trumped Shane Walton. He gave us a couple of exclusives about Luke HOLTZ.
Man, he's real, man.
Man.
Kory, man.
Hey, you left, man, because you have been on the other side of the conversation. You fully support these young men, getting what they can get financially.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the landscape, obviously Notre Dame's just a little different, man. And Kory put a good bow on it, because it is something to be appreciative of having a standard and sticking to a standard, even though it's not what everybody else is doing. It is an appreciation for it, even though it may be counter to what has been shown to get to the level that I'm sure everybody wants to be the top with. But it's winning a major bowl game is nothing to shake your head at, man. That's something to be really proud of. And Kory's right. We have gotten spoiled to where making a bowl game or a bowl 6 game was almost a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that it was like the consolation prize or something.
Yeah.
But I do think that perspective that he has is going to be embraced a lot better with this playoff system. And because of that, you get to see, I think, some of that original coaching again. Like, I think Lou HOLTZ was able to have a lot of those moments because of how it was set up.
Yeah.
And I think for Marcus Freeman to be the guy who I still believe has a lot of potential in being able to do this.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of that right support, and I think the fan base will appreciate the growth of the team as we go through these next few years, especially in the development aspect.
See, I think there's an opportunity for Notre Dame because of the change in the playoff to elevate.
Yeah.
And be special now.
Yeah.
Right?
Those games mean more now.
We have never, at least we have never asked Notre Dame to change and not be special.
Right.
That's not what we asked Notre Dame. Never asked Notre Dame to do that. But we have said there is an opportunity for you to improve the experience of your athletes, there is an opportunity to become more appealing in the modern era,
Yeah.
and to show young men that what you have is not what they've been told by everybody else that wants to negative recruit. You take control of the narrative. See, that's the possibility that's there for Notre Dame now. You take control of the narrative and let these young men know what Notre Dame is all about, why you're different, why you're special, and why they need you in their lives. That's the opportunity that's available to Notre Dame now. And hopefully the new president and Pete Babak with the new AD, along with Marcus Freeman leading the team and the program, hopefully they take that and move the program forward.
Absolutely. And it'll be something I think really refreshing, that the approach that people can look at Notre Dame would be, yeah, they'll develop me wholesome
Mm-hmm.
on and off the field, because now I can trust, because it's not a win every game gotta be perfect situation. I can trust that my kid can go there 3 years, develop, be a part of some really great teams, be a part of really great moments. And then if he gets a chance at the next level, he'll have the playoff film for it. But you can trust that it's not Notre Dame pushing you out the door if you get hurt or
Mm-hmm.
if you miss that window. I think that eases the recruiting tension on what the value it means, that it is greater. I mean, if you're not in a position where, or if now the college football land space is 12 teams, you just got to make the playoffs. So
Mm-hmm.
so for a 5-star, my idea of the teams that I want to go to expands. It's not just to Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State if I want to win a championship. That was a Keon Keeley thing. Shit, I
Yeah.
mean, Alabama just be winning every year. There's only 3 teams to really go to if you're a top 5-star. Now, 12 teams and can be very interchangeable once you
Yeah.
get past 5.
Yeah.
Because there's really 5 good teams that, okay, are generally they'll beat just about everybody. And then once you get past 5, it's like, hey, a hot team can jump in there and who knows what. So as a top 5-star, maybe I would want to go to Michigan State because it's my home school. I don't have to go all the way down to Alabama. I can stay at Michigan State. We can jump in and be a top 12 team, and then I'm going to have all the scouts there. Who knows? We can
Yeah.
still work it out. So I think it opens the door up for 5-stars to not just be so heavily concentrated at one place, because at 12 teams, anybody can win. Look at Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon lost to Washington, but they'll be around 8 or 7, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid playoff team. If they catch Georgia or something, who knows?
Yeah.
It'll shake
Yeah.
things up.
Yeah. I went to Morgan Park in
Okay.
Chicago, and if you were a very smart kid, especially from the inner city, you went to Whitney Young, Kenwood, Morgan Park, or Lane Tech if you're on the northwest side. And my first choice was Whitney Young, but I had to get up and catch the bus at 5 in the morning to get to Whitney Young. And I just was like, no, I'm not, that 5 a.m. is not working for me. So I ended up in Morgan Park, and we had a basketball program, God rest his soul, Coach Herb Ray. He was the head basketball coach. And he never allowed that basketball program to be about basketball. Like, he set a standard. And when I got there in 7th grade, left and played for the 7th grade team, I'll never forget. His standard was in the 7th grade program. Like, we came to practice every Wednesday. We had to have our progress report. from all our teachers, or we weren't playing.
Yeah,
And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to hoop,
that's
right?
right.
Like, dude, I understand the pressures of getting grades. Heck, it's pressure just from my parents. Like, so I deal with that at home. I thought this would be a release. And this is the thing, Left. The basketball program wasn't like an elite basketball program. We won, probably if we played 25 games a year, we won 15, made it to the playoffs. He didn't believe in that recruiting 6th and 7th graders. He literally took the kids from the surrounding elementary schools and then the 7th, 8th grade program. That was his basketball program. And he was like, hey, this is what I'm going to deal with. All these other coaches in the city going and getting these kids, giving them false addresses so they could be in the district and do this and do that just to have a basketball program. He's like, I'm not doing that. And the greatest moment was 2 years before he passed away. He finally had a collection of players from doing it right for over 20 years. You remember Will Bynum that played in the NBA?
Yeah.
Great player. Will Bynum and Crane were the #1 team in the city. And Coach Ray finally had the right group of kids because the program eventually got better, as the years went on. But it got better because he did things the right way. He believed in, hey, you believe in what you do and keep working. Eventually, like you said, Left, it brings you joy to see your kids fight through the losses and finally start to win.
That's right.
And no, doing it this way means something. And I had left, but I felt like when they won the city championship in 2007, Left, which was like almost 20 years after I graduated, I felt like that was my championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yo, we built this. Like, we laid the foundation when he first got there for this to happen. And we finally won the championship. And when he passed away, the Irvin brothers, Byron, Lance is a big time family in Chicago. They basically came and took the program over, right? And then all of a sudden, Morgan Park every year began to rival Simeon. Both schools are on Vincennes Avenue in Chicago, so they used to call it the Battle of Vincennes every year after that. And it would go through times where we would dominate. I don't know if you remember a kid named Charlie Moore. It was a point guard from Miami a couple of years ago. He started out at Cal. Charlie Moore was a star player. Ayo Dosunmu, that's for the Bulls right now, was a star player for us. There were years like 2007. Heck, we got spanked by Jabari Parker and Kendrick Nunn for like 4 years. We took it on the chin, but then we came right back with Charlie Moore. And then we had Adam Miller and Ayo. So we ran off some things. But that whole program was built on Herb Ray and what he did. And bro, I don't know how you feel. I'll say when. I don't know when Notre Dame wins the next national championship. That's you, bro. That's you. That's CJ. That's like y'all put in the blood, sweat, and tears. That's Manti. That's Jalen. That's all the big bros off the 2011 and 12 squad. Everybody that laid the foundation to revive the program, bro. When Marcus Freeman gets this team over the hump, that's y'all championship, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, I'm telling you as a fan.
Wait,
that's the brotherhood. That's the championship, bro.
Yeah, we definitely, I think, for the time we were there, were able to show that an elevated program to where modern football, college football is going, we were able to show that we had the ability to do that at a high level. We were stuck behind the times of trying to catch up to what is winning football games
Yeah.
today. And I think Coach Kelly did a good job of making that a constant, is that, we may have our issues, but we're going to win some games. I think he's figured out how to win a game formula, to be honest.
And like you said, do it the right way. I do. The expectation, this is crazy. The expectation is if you come to Notre Dame as a football player, dude, you're graduating in 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's still
Dude, that's like the standard. What? That's why if you really haven't gotten playing time after your third year, you still had 2 years of eligibility, and you got this Notre Dame degree. You right on target for it. So
yeah, so you really just put yourself in a position where now I think it's just such a grateful opportunity,
mhm.
for guys to be able to experience Notre Dame. I love how Kory Minor just positions the love for Notre Dame as not being for everybody. And there's a really big sacredness to that for what, if you fit what Notre Dame is in terms of your discipline and the bigger picture love for it, you'll see that it stands alone in that realm of what everybody else is looking for when it comes to college. And I think that's the best part about it. And then it's okay if you don't. But Notre Dame is still making waves that you can't ignore either.
Yeah.
So it's just, what side of the fence would you rather be on? And if you can get a chance to be on the Notre Dame side, it usually tends pretty well.
It is a blue jay outside my window, bro. That's why I'm like, it's snowing right now, and like a blue jay is on my windowsill. This is crazy. It's a beautiful bird, by the way.
That's right.
Yo, that's crazy. Lucky luck. But no, I just want you guys to know that, man. Because I think it's been 35 years, man. And that quilt that finally will end in a national championship, man. All you guys, I think everybody part of the previous regime, you guys set the tone. Like Marcus Freeman came in on what you all established. It wasn't like he had to build a program from like the bottom.
Right.
No. He came in based upon your blood, sweat, and tears, Will's blood, sweat, and tears, everybody going all the way back. So yeah, there will be, in my opinion, I think all you guys should have some pride when it happens. Like, yo, that's what's up.
Yeah, but even still, though, the team that does end up doing it sets themselves apart because of just the mere fact of,
oh heck yeah,
of actually completing the task. And I thought 2012, as special as it was, still doesn't have that icing on the cake because they didn't win it, which I think we would have talked about 2012's team.
They're probably the most beloved team, like probably from the Kelly era.
Yeah, and it's like, man, that would just make, I think, Coach Kelly's time there a lot better,
Yeah,
or more memorialized if he was able to do the things in 12 like he was positioned to do. I think losing that gave the whole Pete Carroll Seattle Seahawks feel.
yeah.
It never was the same after that.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. Notre Dame in the initial CFP rankings left come in at 15. And honestly, I didn't understand why Notre Dame fans were so upset. Like, I understand we could sit here, throw analytics numbers up of why they should be higher than, the 3 or 4 teams in front of them, Utah, LSU. Hey, man, can I be honest for a second left?
Yep.
That's what we do. Can I be honest for a second?
That's what we do.
As Notre Dame, don't lose to Louisville.
That's it.
If you're Notre Dame, you can't lose to Louisville. You can't lose to Duke. They're going to punish you more because you're Notre Dame. We know this. It's not a conversation of whether or not it's fair. We know this. The same way they're going to give us a bunch of credit if we had beaten Ohio State. If we had beaten Ohio State and still had lost to Louisville, you would be in the top 10 easily.
Easily.
So you're Notre Dame. Take the good with the bad, man. They're telling you that Louisville game was a bad loss. That's what they're telling you. And Louisville is ranked in front of you. So I hear the complaints. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you. Yes, a one loss. You know what they're saying? As you celebrate a 58-7 victory over Pittsburgh, they're saying if you were so great to dominate Pittsburgh and they beat Louisville, how in the heck did you lose to them?
That's it.
That's what they're saying.
That's it.
That's like dominating Pittsburgh actually hurt the case. As crazy as that sounds. Not saying it's right. Not saying you're not right for feeling the way you feel.
But that's why Notre Dame is who they are and get judged how we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we can't lose a game we shouldn't lose because to everybody else, it's just so egregious. It's not like Duke losing to North Carolina State or Clemson losing to Florida State. It's y'all lost to Louisville. That's so beneath you guys.
Yep.
We don't care how many games you win because that is just such a stain.
It's like being the son of a pastor or a preacher.
Yeah.
Society and everybody expects you to be different. They don't expect you to be a kid. Bro, I'll never forget. We had 7th, 8th grade, the basketball team. We would play our game. We would go grab lunch together. And then we had this really cool teacher named Miss Arrington that would let us eat and chill out in her classroom. Every Friday, love. Miss Arrington just happened to go to high school with my dad.
Okay.
Her only rule is do not come in here if you have an actual class this period.
Right. Don't be in my.
That was her rule. Right? I'll do. This one Friday, I just wanted to kick it. So I skipped class. She found out I skipped class. She snapped on me in front of everybody that was in the room. And her last statement was, and your father's a pastor. And I'm like, what in the world does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, they love that.
Like, what are you talking about?
Like you gotta have a higher moral value or something.
Right. Like, I can't be a kid and just want to hang out with my friends. And
you supposed to be grown, Sean.
I'm supposed to be grown, right? And I'm sorry, Notre Dame fans.
That's how they do you. That's how they do Notre Dame.
Dude, you are a Notre Dame fan.
You a top 5 program.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, man. These are the things we have to deal with. These are the things we have to deal with, man. They expect more of us. They expect more of Notre Dame fans. They expect more of Notre Dame as a program. And it is what it is, man. Like, and all that analytic stuff, I'm telling you what the committee told you last night. If you beat Pittsburgh like that, there is no way you should have lost to Louisville.
No.
None. They don't care about Louisville's ranking. They don't care about Louisville shutting out Duke. They don't care about that. They don't care. They don't.
They don't.
No. They're like you got dominated by Louisville.
And that's it.
And that's it. By a basketball school. That's how they take it. Right? And this is why next year will feel so much different. Next year will be, if we're in the same position, we'll be 3 spots from the playoffs.
That's right.
And the reaction won't be so crazy. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it's like you gotta overreact because you're not in the top 4. But we will never cross the top 4 losing Louisville. It just won't happen. Not the way this playoff system's set up. Gots to be better than that.
So yeah, Jason Smith said there are undue expectations on Notre Dame and Notre Dame fans. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I want to say this too, because I see what Nathan Milton said. Nathan, give me a football reason, not this whole spooky, oh, this game scares me. Clemson's talented. Give me a football reason why Clemson scares you. Just give me a viable football reason why Clemson scares you. Their quarterback is regressing. Their offensive line is bad. They can't run the ball when they have Will Shipley. And more than likely, they won't have Will Shipley. They've lost 4 games in which they had more total yards.
They want to surprise us with something they don't have.
Dude.
They're not shipping in any new players. They're not getting any new plays. Their quarterback isn't getting any better from week 1 to week. I mean, I'm not going to say get any better. He's not going to make any drastic leaps where he just has a stroke of genius watching film against us where he's got some secret play or secret talent he's going to unleash to the world. This is who they are on film. Trust that we have things to match that, and we're going to be fine. Obviously, they're going to play a little harder. We have to account for that. We can't go in there making it easy for them by having a bunch of mistakes and turnovers. But if we go in there and play a clean game, we'll do what we're supposed to do. Our problem is, I think we psychologically think that every team is a trap game. But after a while, when we start winning and putting up numbers, realize that we're a good team, that the other team is more worried about us than we are them.
Yeah. And I think this game is, I won't say dangerous, but I think this game early on will be a battle of emotions.
Yeah.
And I think Notre Dame will have to fight through everything you just pointed out, Left, because those are the things that will fuel the emotions of that stadium and Clemson's team. Like, dude, of course they have talented players.
Yeah, like
dude, they haven't put pressure on the quarterback because most of their pass rushers and defensive ends are injured. Yeah, their defensive tackles are really good, but their defensive tackles were on the field when Notre Dame ran for 200 plus or almost 300 last year. Like, Notre Dame's offensive line doesn't fear those defensive tackles. They just bullied them a year ago. Like, we've done this. We've faced you already and bullied you. Okay, it's a different stadium at a different time. What's up? Like, you don't have, as a defensive line, you don't have the depth. So, okay, come out emotional, make some plays early. We'll stick to our game plan, and we'll wear you down.
That's it.
That's it. Because the truth of the matter is, your offense can't score points. Your offense has struggled to score points. So if we don't turn the ball over, take our time, hey, our special teams is peaking.
They're
We got a
peaking at the
kickoff
right time.
return. We got a punt return. It's time for a punt block. It's time for a punt block. Hey, like fans are saying in the chat, play our game. We're the better team. We're the better team. Play our game. And that's it. Heck, if Notre Dame, on the flip side, if Notre Dame walks in there and punches them in the mouth in the first quarter, you might see an empty stadium.
That's right.
In the fourth quarter. I mean, your answer, I asked for a football reason and you said you didn't really have one, Nathan. So, I mean, your original answer wasn't unfair. I just asked if you can give a football reason. So it was never about, your response going back to what you originally said, being fair. It's, just from a football reason. We don't feel that Notre Dame has a reason to fear a trip to Clemson, a road game at Clemson. And I will say this, and Left, you made this point. It would be totally different if this game was at night. Because that atmosphere is
it would add a little bit more to them, but you got to think like, they have way more issues than we do, and internally, so they got to fight more demons before they come fight us, and we well-oiled machine at this point.
I mean, it's about as oiled as they've been since
the Ireland game.
I mean, no, I would say since
NC State.
Yeah, maybe. Bro, I felt like Notre Dame played a really. I'm being disrespectful if I say really, and excuse my French, and don't judge my faith. Notre Dame played their ass off against Ohio State. Left.
Yeah, I mean,
they played their ass off.
I don't know.
Now, I say that because
we play our ass off every game, though.
No, they don't. No, they do not. No,
they did not. Ass off Duke.
They didn't. No, Duke and Louisville. No.
Playing our ass off is like USC. That's playing our ass off because of how the game went. That's playing our ass off.
I think a lot goes into that. I didn't say they played their best. I didn't say they could not have played better. But you don't go up against top talent and play and outplay them and then sit back and say, yo, we didn't play our tails off. Like it took that type, because I don't want to, because people are going to say I'm blaming one player. I'm not blaming one player. But I'm just saying it was a certain person brought here for 3 games. That's all I'm saying.
But everybody knew that before this. Listen, Coach Freeman told these quarterbacks before the season ended what he was needing it. Coach Freeman said, I need 3 games and I need a 3-game assassin. Y'all not the assassin, and I'm going to get one. And the other 2 skedaddled. He didn't quite do the stuff we needed. He won some games, but it wasn't quite what we had hoped for. But hopefully he can make it up by winning this Clemson game convincingly by his attrition, by his ability to make the impact on the game. The running game is going to be there, but the impact has to come from Sam Hartman.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
What's up with your boy Patrick Williams wanting $200 million?
Get that ball out of here. You're trying to upset me now. You're trying to upset me now, Left.
You see that?
You're trolling me now. You're trying to upset me. It's been a great show. The
Patrick
chat has been
Williams
great
said-
today. The fans have been great. Man,
Patrick
come on,
Williams
man.
wants $200 million from the Bulls.
Hey,
No.
man. You know, it is like Nathan. I'm just saying, like, USC is not a fearful game for me anymore.
Not after what we just did.
I'm not talking about
before.
It wasn't a fearful game for me last year.
Yeah.
No, I knew we were in trouble when they said that Tariq Bracy and Cam Hart weren't playing. Before the game, I was like, oh, snap. That's not good.
Right.
Right? With a freshman being our only defensive back that was healthy. But, man, I'm not scared. That's why, remember all the heat we took from the fan base when we said, dude, beating USC and Clemson ain't going to mean nothing this year. Everybody's like, oh, no. If you beat USC and Clemson, it's going to mean just as much as Ohio State. No.
This is one of those weighted tests.
Yeah.
Ohio State was 50% of your grade. Clemson was like 30, SC was the other.
Clemson at this point is like a quiz, 5% of your grade.
Yeah.
This is a quiz. This is a flat out quiz.
It's a quiz.
The bowl game is the final.
Okay.
Ohio State was the midterm.
Damn near.
And USC was
your standardized testing.
Yes. And Clemson's a quiz. Like
Clemson's just your quiz.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like Pittsburgh and all the rest. That's
your homework assignments.
Those are pop quizzes.
Yeah.
Pop quizzes. Like,
yeah.
Or your homework.
You ain't really thinking about y'all like that. You pop quizzes.
Right. Like the teacher has you do that and she doesn't even ask about it the next day.
Right.
Like she doesn't even collect it. Like, man, you gonna collect my homework? I stayed up 2 hours to do this last night. You dude, at least collect it. Respect me that much. Man, dude. Man, look. We'll get into it tomorrow. The reason we're saving, really digging deep, Locked On ACC host Ken Gibbs, our brother. He's been on with us before, right before the North Carolina State game. He joins us tomorrow.
That's right.
So we'll really dig into Clemson, the breakdown, offense versus defense versus offense. And he has, because they just played North Carolina State. So he'll be able to give us a really great breakdown. And then we'll give you the predictions and everything Friday, man. It is, man, look. Yeah, I agree, Clyde. Clyde the Glide said, Malik might not agree, but you can play your butts off and lose to a team. You just can't, man.
Oh, man. Did Earl Spence fight his butt off?
I was about to say something disrespectful, man. he got the brake speed off of him.
That's what I'm saying. Come on. It just doesn't look good because you didn't win, man.
The UFC fighter fought his tail off against Tyson Fury. He didn't win. Now, you can say what you want to say. He was robbed, whatever. He fought his tail off.
Now, he fought his ass for sure.
He came off from a different discipline, stepped into the ring against the best heavyweight, fought his tail off, knocked him down. What else is he supposed to do?
What else is he supposed to do, man? Yeah.
Like, what else is he supposed to do?
I mean, for what it's worth, he did what he was technically. I mean, he didn't get the opinion of the win.
Yeah,
But he had some winning moments for sure.
man. I'm just saying. You not Tyson Fury's big 10, and from what I heard, they gave Tyson Fury like a 15 count to get up. Yeah, they like, dude, if you go back and watch a video, like that, it's like 12 seconds. Because as soon as he hits the ground, somebody
You
next
gotta
to
start
him
counting.
supposed to have a count. They were like, man, they gave that dude like 12 seconds.
They gave him a breather.
Like, this is an
Catch your breath,
exhibition.
bro. Catch your breath. Yeah, catch your breath.
It's an exhibition. So, okay, started late.
Give him some water. You all right?
Yeah, but no, it should be, and I'm not. Now, I will say this. Guess what? As we get ready to go, guess what the line is right now, Left? Remember what I told you what Vegas was doing when it opened up at 1?
Isn't it -3 right now?
-3.5, 3 or 3.5 Left. You know what that means? They got a lot of Clemson money on the hook, bro. What did I tell you? Vegas is smart, bro. Boy, they said, you know what they said? Dang, Clemson looks bad. We got to do something to get people believing in.
We got to do something. We got to do.
Notre Dame just crushed Pitt. Clemson just lost to North Carolina State, and they look bad. Man, we got to do something to get them on the hook. All right, we're gonna make Clemson a 1-point underdog at home. And Cat saw that 1 point and was like, Vegas must know something about Notre Dame. And all of a sudden, it's 3, 3.5. You might get it at 4 by Saturday. Boy, Vegas basically, well, this is what I said, dude. I was like, dude, if this game was at Notre Dame would be favored by like 5-6 points. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Like,
so you're saying it's gonna creep up to 5 and 6 by Saturday.
It's gonna settle. No, it's gonna settle around 3.5. 3.5, maybe 4.
Okay.
And that's if more money keeps coming in on Clemson, they'll keep raising it. My point is they had to lure the bettors in because there was nothing attractive to bettors about Clemson.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
There was nothing attractive about Clemson. And Vegas was like, we have to create it, man. We got to put some hellified makeup on Clemson this week. We got to get some strobe light in here. Like, man, we got to get people dancing. Don't cut these lights on.
That's right.
Do not cut these lights on. Let these people dance. Put this money on Clemson. And then watch the carpet be pulled from the rug, be pulled from up under them on Saturday morning. That's what's about to happen.
So you can feel it, huh?
I told you Vegas is about to make money off Notre Dame, bro. I saw it coming from a mile away. A 1-point favorite. Come on, man. You just watched. This Clemson team is 4-4, dude. And they're a 1-point underdog. All right. You know what time it is. You knew what that was, right?
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, petty story today brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Yeah, dude, Patrick Williams. Man, the Bears for that terrible trade.
Chicago sports is not.
Dude, Chicago, there is no sports town worse than Chicago right now? None.
None.
No. Name it.
Y'all doing pretty bad right now, man. I can't.
Name it. Name it. There is
Well,
absolutely
New York, the Giants and the Jets and the Knicks are terrible.
no. The Knicks went to the playoffs.
Well, all the other sports are terrible.
The Knicks actually have 2 players that are all-stars. Like,
Randall and Burton.
I mean, they actually have players that are all-stars.
Going to what, the second round?
So what do the Bulls have?
Zach LaVine.
What do the Bears have?
51.
Empty calories. You're about to tell me about the next empty calorie, which is Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know.
White Sox are terrible. Cubs are mid. What? I can always give you like Simeon. I can give you the high school teams that are always nationally ranked. I can give you that. I can give you that. I can give you Mount Carmel in football, National Power, Loyola Academy. Man, that's all I got left. I have to go all the way down to high school.
Y'all worse than Cleveland sports?
The only city that well, no, I can't even say that anymore. I was about to say Detroit.
Cleveland sports rivals y'all.
No, the Browns are pretty decent right now, bro.
Decent. You know, that don't last long.
I mean, the Cavaliers went to the playoffs last year.
Y'all went to the playoffs last year.
No, we did not.
Oh, the play-in. Oh, y'all was one game away from the play-in.
One game away from the play-in.
Y'all was one game away. That was it.
Come on, dude. Stop it. Left is trolling me right now, y'all. That's what he's doing.
Patrick Williams asked for $200 million. I need to give it to him.
He did. Petty Train. Bedlam. One last time. Oklahoma State, and Mike Gundy. Yeah, man. You and Brian Bosworth are nasty.
Social media, but it was a rivalry then. Like, you know, Bosworth spit in my face. I spit in his face. I mean, it was actually a rivalry, right? Like, the summer of my, before my sophomore year, you know, I would go to parties in Oklahoma City, and they would say, well, Bosworth and Migliozzo and some of those guys were here. And so I had to make a decision whether, were we going to have confrontation there and who was with me? Because, I mean, I'm not going to, you know, those guys, you know, I can kick them in the shin and run like hell, but you know, I mean, I'm not dumb. So we had to make those decisions because, I mean, what kind of a frame of mind was Brian going to be in on that point? I don't know. You know, had he taken a vitamin C and had a few drinks, well, he might not be a guy you want to talk to at that point. You know, he'd get real red and cross his face. So it was a rivalry then. Now it's not as much anymore, unfortunately, because of the way it is. But it's a very important game.
Isn't this the same dude that told us he was a man? Because he's what, about 45 now? Because he was 40.
Yeah.
He was, I'm 40. I'm a man. He must not have been a man in college. Because first of all, you spit on me on the football field, it's on site, off the field. I ain't sitting up there trying to wonder whether or not we're going to have a confrontation. We're going to have a confrontation.
Yes. Yeah.
You spit on me on the football. Bosworth spit on me. I spit on him. Nah, fam. Nah. Next time I see you off the field, oh, it's a confrontation.
Every time.
I ain't thinking about my size. I got something for your size. You guarantee that. I got something for your size. It's the biggest pipe.
That's right.
That I can find.
That's right.
I do. What is he talking about? And this is when, like, cell phones weren't really popping.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah.
put Mike Gurney on the petty train.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking
I
about.
don't know what he's talking about. This is back when it was a rivalry. He spit on my face, I spit on his face.
That's
Both
not a
of y'all
rivalry,
soft.
though.
Both of y'all soft.
Yeah.
We spitting in faces. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Both of y'all are some disrespectful human beings. That's what you expose. You know how disrespectful of a person you have to be to spit on somebody?
Disrespectfully soft.
That's not like part of rivalry in sports. That's what it is. It was a
That got
rivalry.
nothing to do with sports, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's a rivalry. He spit in my face. I spit in his face. Man, it was like the dumbest thing I ever heard. Kids, that's a poor example of competition and rivalry. That is not it. That is a 45. Man, he's probably older than that now because that was almost 10 years ago. So he might be knocking on 50.
They're crazy.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
Bruh, if you spit on me on a
I got petty
football
train.
field, okay.
Marcus Jordan wanting his dad to be the best man. What does Michael Jordan do? I don't know if they're worse or Jada Pinkett Smith is worse. I don't know which situation is worse. But Michael Jordan, the seat is hot. The choice is yours. He probably like, man, keep me out of this.
Hey man. I bet you all his boys are hitting him up like Mike.
Mike.
I bet you Magic is like Mike.
Mike, you can't do it, bro. You can't do it.
Hey man.
Can't do this brother like this, bro.
You know, his boy Charles Oakley that he's tight with to this day.
Yeah. Hey Mike.
Hey Mike.
Hey Mike.
And that country twang. Hey Mike.
Can't do it, bro.
And you definitely know Ahmad is hitting him up. Ahmad is probably like, hey man, if you go, can I record it? Can I interview you? Let's talk about it on the pod.
Oh man. What is Mike to do? What would you do? Okay, if you Scotty, what would you say to Mike?
Hey bro, this is a true story. The family went on vacation.
Oh my goodness.
And my brother was engaged to someone. I have good reason. I have to put this out there. The young lady he was engaged to actually called. This is when I had a house phone. Called my house phone and asked for another dude. I picked up the phone and she asked to speak to another dude. And then heard my voice, recognized my voice, and hung up. So of course I told my brother, like, hey dude, I ain't. All I'm saying is, it could be innocent. I'm just telling you, this is what happened. Now you do with that whatever you want to do with it, right? So they went through with the engagement, right? My wife was in the wedding. My wife had bought her dress, had bought the shoes, everything. I told my wife, don't buy that dress. Don't buy those shoes. She was like, man, you not getting your tux? No.
No.
I already know where this is headed. Family vacation and their party, engagement party, was the Saturday after we were supposed to get back. Asked me if I went. So you don't even have to ask me about Michael Jordan. I didn't do it in real life. Like, dude, this ain't going nowhere. He ain't marrying her. It's not happening. And he didn't. He didn't.
So Mike not going.
Hey man, I feel like
That's his son though.
Respect the couple, because if you're not gonna go, if Mike is not going in full forgiveness and support, don't bring that energy to they don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. If Mike is like finally going to reconcile with the full situation, then yeah, go stand by your son's side. But if he's gonna be up there like there's some BS.
Some shit.
Right? Don't do that, man.
Oh man.
Man, don't do that, man. I couldn't do it. I wasn't about to sit
do
there.
it either, bro.
I wasn't about to sit there and lie to my brother and make him feel like I support this. I don't.
Because you got it. Your son. I don't know if your son not locked into the situation, but man, I've been rolling with Scotty for a long time, man. Man, you asking me to do some real crazy shit.
Yo, I'm happy to report that my boy Joe Smith has a backbone.
Oh yeah, he didn't even waste no time.
No, left the crib. Left her. She crying on TMZ. I love him. He's my best friend. I want him to come back. That Joe was like, all right.
Quick with it.
Good
for him, bro. Good for him, bro.
Good, man, very good for him because I was worried about him for
He didn't let no news media circle up. No, he said, I'm out of here, bro.
No. Joe got up out of there. I said, okay.
Yeah, and she know now. Shit. She was too cool in that video. That's what it was.
Yeah.
She was just way too cool in that video. It was no big deal. He was trying to tell you, you gotta talk, man. Okay.
Like, no, you were supposed to tell me.
Yeah, she just like not no big deal. It's what that. Okay.
She was making what do they call it? You know the duck lips. That's what they call it. Had her duck lips going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. You're right. Whatever. You're right. Exactly right. Whatever.
Okay.
You know, like I can't wait for Mason Cam to talk about that.
Oh man,
I can't wait.
That's right.
I cannot wait. And last but not least, man, that cat Wallow is a fool.
Gilly head all on the
man.
Like, get off of that, man. Because the video start with him on top. To make this stuff so funny. Just had him. Oh man, they play way too much, man.
Oh man, dude, we love you guys. We appreciate you, man. We're gonna continue to give you the best content, Notre Dame culture, and definitely the best interviews with Notre Dame players, man. Someone asked who's next.
We're working on Isaac, trying to get Isaac Rochelle. He between practice squad, he doing his thing, trying to get on the field.
Isaac Rochelle. Oh, is he? Wait a minute. Does he have a new head coach coming?
He surely does. Maybe give us some
he does. Wow. Well, at least he's in Vegas, though.
Yeah. Solid.
Not mad at that. Oh. Throw Asia Wilson on the petty train, too.
Oh, with the Usher thing?
For talking all that trash.
And
folding like a chair.
Folded.
When that cat Usher Raymond came your way at the concert.
She wanted no smoke.
Or, she had a little boyfriend.
Kiki Palmer again?
She got a little boyfriend. That cat Usher fed her that chocolate cup of strawberry.
Yeah, it's over with.
She was thinking about it like, man. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. Man, I know he's gonna say something about this. You darn right. Another man put a chocolate cup of strawberry up to your mouth. You bet, man.
These girls out here, it's just not the same, man.
Dude, my wife went to see Usher with her best friend. You think it wasn't a conversation? Like, look here. Don't you end up on World Star. Don't you let Usher play you. Don't you let him do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. She was like, you play too much. I'm like, all right,
Yeah. You're
okay.
gonna be like find out like Joe Smith.
You think I play too much, huh? Okay. You don't think fat meat is greasy, huh?
See?
Yeah. Then that dude straddled her. I was like, oh, Asia. Come on now.
No.
You in trouble, baby girl. It's gonna be a problem when you get back.
You got a problem at home.
Man. Boy. Man.
Charge it to the game, man.
Hey man, my best friend, because we're about to get out of here. My best friend went to Vegas last weekend. And he went to the Adele show, and then he went to the Usher show. So I had dinner with him the week before. Like days before he flew out to Vegas. And I told him, I said, bruh, I said that Usher show is not for your wife. He said, what you mean? Why I'm spending all this money for her to go to the Usher show? I said, I'm going to tell you once again, that Usher show is not for your wife. He called me the next day after he went. He said, bro, you did not lie. I said, yeah. I said, he flies in real good talent. I'll leave it at that. I was like, bro, don't worry. Don't worry. You think you're taking your wife to see Usher? Mm-mm. No. That's for you, bro.
That's right.
That show, Usher put that show on for you. He's singing to your wife, but that show, oh, that's for you.
There we go.
That's for you.
There we go, Ush.
So, hey, Usher is the best investment for a couple. Period. You want to go to a concert? Everybody wins going to Usher's concert. Everybody. I just spent tickets on Mariah's Christmas concert.
Oh yeah, she's
bringing it to Chicago this year.
That's the best money hack on the planet.
Amen.
She doing it.
Hey, bro. Lucky Lefty podcast. Let me go and watch Axe Bronson's latest episode of That's Delicious. We're about to get out of here, man. Thank you guys. Have a great Wednesday. Spend it different.